Carolina Medical Association here in 1974 and 75. The interview is being conducted by Dr. Laurie Brown, honorary member of the association, and Dr. Ken Warwick, and we're in Charleston, South Carolina. It's during the 145th annual meeting of the South Carolina Medical Association on April 26, 1993. Dr. Kilgore, I'm just going to ask you a few questions now, and you just answer just like you want to. And first thing I'm going to go into is a little bit about where you were born, sort of anything you want to tell me about your parents or about your family of origin, etc.
I was born in Dallas, Texas, November 21st, 1927. My father was a family practitioner, and he was also a lawyer, more or less by default, because during the Depression, so many people came into his office there in the Medical Arts Building. He found out there was no Jefferson Law School 2 floors up, so he told his secretary to call him if any patients came in. I think it gives you an idea of what getting into practice was back in the Depression, because he completed that course at the Jefferson Law School and was licensed to practice law before the bar of Texas. My family on my father's side was Scottish origin. I think my triple great-grandfather got kicked out of Scotland for backing that loser, Bonnie Prince Charlie, and decided it's better to immigrate over here. My great-grandfather moved from Virginia to Texas in 1848. We've been there ever since.
I see.
On my mother's side, mostly we were English origin.
You grew up in Dallas, did you?
Yes, I grew up in Dallas. I attended the public schools there. I went to Southern Methodist University. My grandfather, who was a Methodist minister, was one of the founders of Southern Methodist University, ACT president. A couple of years I went to Southwestern Medical School, also in Dallas. It's part of the University of Texas now. I interned at Parkland City County Hospital in Dallas. I guess it's probably famous or infamous as the place where they took John Kennedy after he got shot. But things were not quite as exciting when I was there as an intern. After that, I went down to Charity Hospital, Louisiana, New Orleans, and Tulane University. Took my residency in neurology there for 4 years.
Well, now, how did you decide to become a doctor in the first place, Don?
I guess I got interested early on, going with my father to the hospital. Being a family doctor, he didn't have much spare time, but on the Friday night weekend, that you'd have time when I just with the hospital. I was 7 or 8 years old, and I found out if I kept my mouth shut and didn't make a use of myself, I could go almost anywhere, and I became really interested in the practice of medicine at that particular time. And I've always wanted to be a doctor, and that kind of bent my ways. I went to so badly that I never did graduate from high school. I left high school then my junior year and on to NMU. And at that particular time, you could get into medical school with only 60 hours of college work. So I was fortunate enough to get into medical school when I was only 17.
Well, that was great. And you had internship and residency. How did you decide on pathology?
Again, I guess it's serendipity. I really was interested in obstetrics and gynecology, and after my internship, I'd been accepted for a resident in obstetrics. But one of the residents who had that first-year residence that worked on a pyramid system, they had 4 first-year residents and 2 second-year residents and 1 third-year resident, which I always felt was a vicious system. But he was not accepted for the second year, and this fellow, poor old Hugh Dumas, he had a wife and 4 children, and I was single, and he asked me if I could take it, if he could take my place as a first-year resident, and repeated it again, and I was unmarried at the time, so I talked over with Dr. Meredith, who was the chair of the department. He was willing to do this, suggested I took a residency in pathology, and I think that was his mistake. sake, if you ever wanted to go into OB-GYN, because I got so interested in pathology, I decided to continue.
Just stayed in.
And I've been very interested ever since.
Now, well, how did you end up Spartanburg?
I'm in Green.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Didn't end up Spartanburg.
I guess you kind of might say I slid east. I went to New York for my residency, and I went into the Air Force. I went to Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama. I met my senior partner, Art Ruskin, at a medical meeting in Birmingham. He asked me to look at Greenville. I liked what I saw. We came there in June of 1956. We've been there ever since.
When you say we came there, now you started off saying that you were single during your beginning.
I met Jean down in New Orleans. She was a medical technology student, and I was a resident. So after she finished up her 1 year training there, she went back to Florida State to take her master's in bacteriology, and I persuaded her to change the master into a Mrs. And so we got married in '52. We've been very happily married since then. We celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary last year.
You did. Well, that's nice. And the children?
We have 5 children, boys and girls. Our oldest son, Michael, is a corporate lawyer, and now our second son, Steve, he is mentally retarded. He had idiopathic hypoglycemia. He's been down at Whitten Village, I guess. So he went down there when he was 9, so he's been down there for about 26 years. Our third son is a labor lawyer there in Greenwood with Poetry Barn. Our fourth one is an architect with Golden Davis. Daughter, the youngest, she's a teacher's aide with overlook child development center. We were very fortunate. We have 3 of our children in Greenville, and the rest of them are within shouting distance.
Any grandchildren yet?
Yes, let me show my grandchildren.
Just happen to have a few pictures.
We're very fortunate. We have 2 grandsons and 2 granddaughters. They range in age from about 5 to 5 to 8. They're great.
Oh, good. Now, is that practice of pathology been as sort of as rewarding as you thought it would be?
It's been very enjoyable. I still look forward to going to work every day, and I enjoy what I do and hope to be able to continue it for a long time.
Oh, good.
I guess one advantage of pathology is that you don't have to stand on your feet all day long. So I figure I'll wait a little longer to the surgeons that I know.
Well, you have a lot of people, Don. Now tell me, if you know how, you got involved in organized medicine. Was it through the Greenville Society, or just what did you sort of think about?
I guess I was very fortunate at the Greenville County Medical Society. One of the things that attracted me to Greenville was the fact that it was a congealed group. Then the Montgomery County Medical Society in Alabama, when I was in the Air Force, well, they were divided into about 5 or 6 factions, and they were always fighting with one another. And I think that's one thing that appealed to me about Greenville. Everybody was friendly, and they all made it a point to welcome me, and we got along very harmonious. And also, they wanted to make sure that the younger members got a chance to be assimilated in society, and I was asked to do some committee work, and I did, and I was asked to attend as a delegate. And I came down to Myrtle Beach for my first meeting in 1957, and I guess this makes my 37th consecutive meeting that I've been to. But at this time, Dr. Charles Watt was they called it the council then instead of the board of trustees, but he was a member of the council, and he encouraged me to get active and member of the committee. And I got on the legislative committee. SAC was coming along about that time, and I was a charter member of that. And when a vacancy became open for council, I was opened by the association to what they call the executive council at that time. I guess it's kind of funny about how I got to be president. It was more or less a kind of an accident, because Howard Soaps, who's been treasurer for a good many years, he had finally decided he wanted to be president that year, but unfortunately his wife was quite ill, and suddenly in March of '73 he just withdrew from the race. And we were all gathered down there at John Hawk's out there on No. 1 Meeting Street there, and we were talking about various items of business to come before the Medical Association. And before we broke up, somebody said, by the way, you're going to take Howard's place as president of the association. I said, well, I am. Dr. Charles White thinks Greenville ought to have a president because we haven't one in 12 years. Everybody was dumbfounded, nobody had a chance to get there with us, so they all decided to endorse me.
Don Kilgore was mad. Yeah. Don Kilgore was the man.
And at that time, I think I was the youngest president of the South Carolina Medical Association.
You were.
I understand that Chris Hawk, he was a little bit younger than I was when he came in, but anyhow, like I said, everybody else had their own agenda and their own future plans, and none of them thought about running that particular year. So I guess I spoke at the right time.
Yeah. And that was one of the issues facing medicine at the time. Do you remember?
Like
with Lauren, one thing
yes,
that made
well, Psych actually started back in the early '60s, but we were just getting our expertise at that time and get together. As usual, and it's still an inside problem, we were trying to get doctors to practice in rural areas. And, of course, that's a problem I brought to everything else on, and it still hasn't solved to this day. I think probably because the government says they want it, but they don't want to provide the incentives to provide for it. During the time I was president, the professional liability situation got very serious. St. Paul's was a major carrier, and a number of other insurance companies that had the rest of them were actually going to file the state. And Tuck, I went there to see Under Jim Edwards. That's hard. The insurance carrier not going to file this state. We get some kind of solution to it. And about this time, a governor's advisory commission was formed, and Tucker and I were the two medical people on that board. They had dentists, they had trial lawyers, defense lawyers, hospital administrators, lay people, and of course the legislators. There were 3 senators and 3 House representatives on that advisory committee. I think there were about 16 or 17. But anyhow, we came down to Columbia once a week for about 6 months. We finally got something ironed out that the legislature was so Tucker gave you one of the other jobs. The committee I was on was the legislative committee that was supposed to design some kind of legislation. I was on there with one representative who was a trial lawyer, one senator who was a trial lawyer, and he was now a judge, and Ellis Kahn. I think you all know who Ellis Kahn is. I finally was able to get something hammered out. I think my technique was to let us talk for about 20 minutes, and finally I'd say, Ellis, you know this is bullshit, so he'd shut up and leave. But we finally got something through.
And Ellis Kahn was one of the big trial lawyers.
Oh, yes, he was. Well, he still is. Still is, as a matter of fact.
Be sure we got it on record.
That's right.
Who he was.
That's right.
Who he is.
You can delete the expert if you want.
We won't do anything.
Unexpurgated, darn it.
Now, what else? Some of the issues during that time.
Of course, one of the really hot items that came up was that woman that did have a doctor and delivered in an ambulance down there close to Florence, and we got a lot of heat on that. I tried to take care of it the best way I could, but my point was that woman had criticized the doctor and labeled any charges. I think the Charlotte Observer, the one that led attack on us, but I think it was a breakdown a number of things. First of all, the ambulance driver drove around the state there for about 7 hours. I think to increase feed, and never did think of going over there to McLeod Infirmary. We were about 10 minutes away down the highway. But, I think it did point out some of the defects that these people run into, and of course these folks still.
Sarah was a Medicaid patient who
had
been told exactly what to do and never did do it.
That's right. And the doctor told her
who to go to.
He told her who to do, and she never did do it. And it was just the whole question of poverty and ignorance. There wasn't a solution to that when I graduated from medical school.
And we were trying to relieve the doctor short back at that time too.
We were, and there were all kinds of solutions proposed. I think before I became president, we thought that licensing the osteopaths would relieve the osteopaths would swarm out to the rural areas, but they never did. And to this day, I think the percentage of osteopaths in this state is probably maybe doubled, but it certainly has increased portion. They thought that starting that second medical school in Columbia would do the job, but as I pointed out in my testimony before the Senate committee that was looked at this, I told them that the real place where Dr. Hughes, where he's going to practice is during his residency and not when he's going to medical school. But nobody gave me attention to me. I think the second medical school, while it has many virtues, is still not saw the doctor short in rural areas.
Is there another thing for the Medical Examiner's Act that you worked on, didn't you? Certainly knew that we did.
Oh, yes. We ran into some unusual opposition there. I think Pete Strom, who was the head of our law enforcement committee at that time, was the main one who was opposed to that. Actually, I tried to get legislation to create a statewide medical examiners act back as early as 1961. We ran into a stone wall on that. I think we have a partial medical examiner system now. You have one here in Charles County, and we have a medical examiner system in Kilgore County, and both the medical university and what's his name, Joel Sexton, more or less is freelance work, and I think unofficially a lot of the current just prefer to work either Joel or the medical university. So the situation is better than it was 20 years ago. We still have a state by the medical university.
And you mentioned, of course, the liability problem that you bring on Dr. Edwards got then. Do you think you had any real, what would you think would be your accomplishment if you could pick out one during your presidency? It's a difficult question, but
it is. The only thing that really had any lasting impact, I think, was the work that I did. And of course, I have to give at least equal credit to Tucker Weston. Both of us worked hard to take care of this professional liability situation. And I think if I leave any partial legacy, it would be that we have the lowest professional liability rates in the state and the union. I've been to these GUE national conferences, and gosh, just listening there to the world, I come back thinking our lucky stars we have this good a situation we do. Of course, this is not something that one person has done. I do like to feel that at least Tucker and I start the ball rolling.
Right.
Uta Cullen has done a magnificent job, and so has Jim Hunt, and Boyce Lupton, and Bart Berman there on the JU. He's been a tough strength. Walt Harvard has done a lot. Tucker and I are still on the compensation board. I think all of it kept the ball rolling, but I think any legacy I would like to leave about that would be I struck out on rural health. I struck out on a number of things. One of my most notable immediate years was getting the board of trustees reorganized so that it would be fair on a population basis. You know, you had Nineville district. They were set up on the old judicial district 1886 here in South Carolina, and for instance, the 8th district, Orangeburg, had only about 10% of the doctors here in the Charleston district. But I wanted a committee to look into this and the halls of protest, and I went down in flames to feed on that. I came back here for the annual meeting, but eventually we do have a system that at least approaches some kind of equity. The three largest, or the four largest counties, Lawrence, Greenville, and Columbia, Charleston, now have a urban representative, and then the rest of the things, as you did with it, have representatives. City folks are a little old, but
is there anything else that you think about during your term you'd like to mention?
I really don't. There were a lot of things that came up, but I think that
These are the sort of highlights.
These are more or less highlights.
I think everybody in the state association and all out in South Carolina, thank you and others for a little short premium.
I hope we keep, let's move on right now to, put the patient compensation fund, the insurance department, and dispatch board of governors, and I really am fearful that an insurance company employee that punches me from 8:30 to 4:30 is not get the interest in it we do. And also, outstanding is that this is on the state of South Carolina, entirely self-ordering, kept the low, I don't know why somebody do something already for free.
That money would bring state then.
Would. That's another thing, they were fund that is very carefully built up, go back to state tree, I'm very afraid.
Now, you mentioned some positions that you worked with and have a lot during your term as president, and not only during as president, but president-elect, delegate AMA, et cetera. Is there anything else that you like to mention specific? So many people who you need to give credit to.
I really probably would like to pass ones who received the early wide agreement, Dr. Joe and they were really my mentors. They keep the doctor up on their hinds for today and be active. I guess you say on my South Carolina division does a whole lot to both of them. Dr. White passed away several years ago. Dr. White is living retirement there in Green. He's married again every once in a while.
What a pleasure it was for me to interview Dr. Wyman and recall my old time.
Yeah, he and I even drove down together at council meeting. He's a great man.
Don, behind us, what do you see as the main issue facing medicine today?
Some of them are new, some of them are old. As I said before, the problem of getting doctors in rural areas is a very tough problem, and nobody is still want to tackle it. And the cold hard facts of the matter is that 90% of the patients the rural doctors see either Medicare or Medicaid, and the government does not want to give them enough compensation. They can come in there and practice in the rural area. You need a special type of position. Go there. Somebody loves rural practice, loves country. It's helpful if you're interested in hunting and fishing and farming, but it's not a necessity. But as someone comes from that who had of 100 to 150,000, particularly after he finished presidency, he's got to go in practice where he's not going to do much more beyond make office expenses. It's almost an impossible dream. And somehow this is going to have to be God's legislative power. I don't know if it's going to take a martyr man either to that. The problem there 20 years ago is still is. It's one of the frustrating problems. I think we're a lot better educated and we need to preserve private practice of medicine and benefit of the patient. I've talked to members of Congress and members of the legislature, and it becomes more important as the years go by. Talk to the state legislators. It used to be that we worry about federal, but I think state government is important, if not more important. It all depends on what package out of Washington under the Clinton administration. We still have a need to be vigilant. We still have to be articulate, express our patience and our need for legislators and try to get things done. I guess since you worked together with me on SOCPAC all these years, you know that doctors, tough things all face. Doctors, understandably busy in their business, but they just extra man's on their spare time, even if it means preservation of practice the way the one now to get involvement out of doctors on a full level as it was you and I had about 25 or 30 years ago.
Yes, sir.
It's gaining way of practice. I think you're going to see more salary positions. I think you're going to see more positions working for corporations. I hope that this physician care network gets off and running, because I see it as the last best chance for the preservation of private practice of medicine. Because if we don't do this, hospitals, the blues, the insurance companies, people like Kaiser and HCA are going to fill the void if we don't. This is our last chance.
Would you like to say anything about this work, about what we're thinking about forming this network, physician network?
Of course, it takes a while to explain all this, but basically, it is a contract between the network and the individual company or small business. And after you work out the details, you agree on a set budget. And if you fall in the budget, well, neither the doctor nor the company loses. If you go over the budget, well, the doctor loses a certain amount, but so does the company. But on the other hand, it comes in below budget, will the company and the doctor get a certain amount of money. It's the old free enterprise system at its best. And I think a lot of these would go for it because Blue Cross, Blue Shield, or insurance companies are certainly not going to give you any kind of money back. In fact, 1% of your company, you're lucky as you get the services that you contract for. So I think it will have a lot of field business.
And this is through the state association?
This is through the state association, and also, as you and I both know, we're company men. We believe in the organization. I think this will be something that will be an incentive for membership in the United Association.
Are you optimistic about the future of Madison?
I am. I guess I've been around long enough to know that disasters sometimes can bring on unexpected results there. I always remember what Darrell Royal at the University of Texas, coach at the University of Texas for good years, somebody asked him about it. He says what is preparation is opportunity. And I think if we're prepared, the opportunity is going to come along.
Right.
I think can do the best for our patients and make sure that we preserve our region. I was told by my elder back in 1965 Medicare was going into the practice of medicine. As a matter of fact, probably help doctors more up than anything else. What ever did before, because all of a sudden I was getting paid for things that I write up and
Here.
I don't know about you, Laurie, but our private laboratory, we wrote off about the percent of our bills, just didn't think anything more about it. Medicare paid us the whole fee, but it paid us the money we weren't getting anything before.
Right.
So there's always a way around your alert and what your opportunities, and I think that we take whatever Mr. Clinton, his gang bring on us. The one thing we've got in our favor is that the American people may say they would like the Canadian system or the German system, but the truth of the matter is they want the best care that they cannot get in these other countries. Why these people come over here? I read in Vancouver during last year they sent over 2,000 bypass patients down there to Seattle to have their bypasses done in the United States. If we don't have this over here in the United States anymore, well, who's going to do all that? And the American people don't like to do it. They are willing to do in Britain, they're willing to do in these other countries. And I don't know how we're going to take this kind of thing. I think those are the weapons we have. We should use to our best advantage.
Well, what kind of hobby do you have? You don't have do anything other than work?
Yes, Ian and I enjoy playing golf very much. While we're in Iceberg, we have been out to one of these golf digest schools. At least we know what's going wrong. Neither one of us are going to win club championship. It's something that we enjoy doing together. We have a place up there, Fairfield, Kilgore, North Carolina. We get up there for as you gather, enjoy our grandchildren very much. We both enjoy reading. One of our mutual hobbies is the wine. We belong to several wine societies. Several years have been the Great Good Wine Society. She wrote the Sewers, which is the International Society devoted to enjoying good food, good wine. It's one of the groups that was started back in 1250. Got unfortunately the French Revolution came back on in 1950. Then something that I enjoy myself, the collection of ancient Greek Roman market coins. I guess it's not some fields there, but I did. That's right. And I guess history is one of my hobbies too, that coins in the history of good.
Right. Anything that you would like to add that we might not touch on? That you would like to say for the Archives State Association?
I really can't think of anything except being able to practice medicine is one of the greatest privilege I've ever had. It's, like I said, I still look forward to going to work every day, and I know there are a number headed all over, you know, I would go and practice medicine. I don't know that I would like this government efforts. Like I said, there's always a way around.
There's always a way around. All right. We're done. I want to express my appreciation for this interview and